Hey, what's up? Episode 10. Alright, so, well, I guess I'm collecting another stack because I wanted to end with 3, but now that I've got some more, just going to grab some end stone. Turn this down. I can't do anything about the fan noise I'm rendering right now. Oh man, I've had quite the day, or really quite the week. So, in my rendering for this project for this Australian company, I've been using Dropbox to basically host an artificial network server so that I could use a render management software called Deadline Renderer in order to create a render farm, since when you don't have any when you don't have a license for it, you can use up to 2 computers still. And that's exactly the number of computers I currently am using, so win-win, right? The problem is that because the user directories for my Dropbox, even though I'm using the same Dropbox on both computers, because my user account might be one name on one computer and another name on another, the file path doesn't line up. Oh my goodness. I'm already on to my 5th stack. Actually, Deadline works flawlessly if I leave the majority of the settings at default. But the problem is that, oh my gosh, I'm already past it. Alright, we need to stop this. Let's see. I'm just going to put some back. No, I'm going to put back. I'm going to toss this. Let's drink this and toss the bottle. There we go. Anyway, when you leave the settings at default, it manages to actually work pretty well. Like, for some reason, it doesn't have an issue with the file path and whatnot. But I actually need, when it renders, it takes like 8 minutes for a single frame. And when I'm rendering straight out of Maya, it only takes about 2.5 per frame. And Deadline has an option where you can enable local rendering, and what that does is it gives the render task. By the way, each frame is separated into its own task, and the reason it takes 8 frames is because, it takes 8 minutes per frame, is because it loads the scene into. Hold on. It loads the scene into. Could that get any more annoying? Anyway, so it loads the scene into. Oh, jeez. Out of my way. As I was saying, it loads the scene into the Deadline repository or whatever, and it renders one task at a time. And the scene I'm using, it originally was almost a half a gig. I'm sorry, it almost was. It was over 1 gig originally. Because of that, I switched the file around a little bit, and I created some references so I could, because stuff like foliage and trees and whatnot takes up a lot of space on the file size, and it of course makes the file take a lot longer to open. which is what I believe is what's causing it to take 8 minutes for a render, because it's taken 5 of those minutes to open the file for each frame. So if you enable local rendering, it will it'll take what you've got and it'll render it to your local machine, and then it'll copy it over to your after it finishes rendering, it'll copy it to your output path. Now that's great, and when I do that, it renders significantly faster. Like the first render takes 5-6 minutes, and then every render after that gets quicker and quicker until it's around the 2.5 average. But the problem is that it only works on one computer at a time, because if I load it from, let's say, my desktop, that's the computer that kind of gets the priority, because the file path recognizes for my desktop, which is a PC. If I submit the job from my laptop, which is a Mac, that's the one that gets the priority and uses the correct file pathing and all that. So it's very frustrating, because it works great when I'm just working through relative paths in the program when I'm actually working on something, because I don't have to worry so much. Oh no, server lag. I don't have to worry so much about. There we go. Like actually, I don't have to worry about it at all, really, because it behaves exactly the way it should. Because when it knows where the project path is, in my Dropbox, in the file folder, it can find all the textures and references and whatever it needs, the models and everything, very easily. But like I said, once I enable this local rendering, which greatly speeds up the rendering process, it sort of screws up everything else, because you basically got to pick one or the other, whether you want it to be really fast and give you good results, but you're only getting one computer's worth, or it's a compromise you just can't make, because either way, I need the renders to be going faster. Anyway, so I went out and I bought a home network. The kind of thing you just plug into your router, and it lets you, it just shows up right on all your computers, and that's great. But as soon as I installed that, I couldn't install Deadline's repository on the on my network, and I couldn't. As soon as I installed it, Maya on my desktop had a licensing issue out of nowhere, and now I can't get it to start. I couldn't get it to uninstall. I couldn't get it to repair the install. I couldn't get it to do anything, which is a huge pain in the butt, because it's just, I mean, the reason I would go out and spend $400 on a network is so that I can get these renders done quicker, because it's kind of a necessity, and I don't know, it's just such a pain in the butt right now, because I can't really move forward. I mean, right now I'm rendering something that has to be rendered locally, because I don't want to waste caching space to put this particle effect in that only needs to be rendered for about 330 frames. So I just want to get it taken care of and call it done, since it's been approved. But as things go, something that's approved one day is overturned the next day, and you got to re-render the whole thing. For instance, the project I'm working on is, without going into too much detail, even though I haven't really had to sign any non-disclosure agreements or anything, but which is actually unusual for my line of work, but the project required me to do like a Michael Bay style transformation sequence between one unit of this product to another, to demonstrate how much smaller the newer unit is. And they had wanted me, initially it was the company that I'm working for's old unit transforming into their new unit, but now they want, or actually a couple weeks ago they decided it would be better if I built the competitor's unit, and of course that's a pain because I was given SolidWorks files, CAD work for the old unit and the new unit of the product that this company is developing. But of course, once you start working and you're using a competitor's unit, it's like you have to build that from scratch. So I did, and I got it approved. So I rendered out this transformation sequence, and yeah, it's as hard as you might expect to make a transformation sequence that looks good. You basically, if you're anything like me, you just kind of start and try to work with it all the way through, and then, that's essentially exactly what I did. I just got started and hoped for the best and kept going. It ended up coming out pretty good, honestly. I've got to say it's really quite nice, the end result in the transformation sequence. And then, of course, a week before the project is 100% due. By the way, I'm probably gonna need a full week worth of render time just to finish this. The client decides that the competitor unit that I modeled, that they approved, looks too much like the competitor's unit, and they need me to make changes to it so that they don't have any legal issues with this competitor's company. So, and of course, any render that I have already done, which is most of the renders I've done, because this is one of the first things to get approved, is now needing to be redone because the competitor's unit needs to be altered, and it's a nightmare right now, honestly. It's just such a pain in the butt to have to work on this kind of stuff, and get it approved and get it rendered and basically wipe it from your mind and the stress of it, and then have it back on your plate 2 weeks later. Anyway, today I am gonna pay InvertedShadow a visit. He had mentioned to basically the people on the server that he needed coal, because when you first start out, coal can be a tad difficult to get your hands on. Oh, by the way, T Calhoun is on. He's currently recording. He is probably cleaning up the Ender Dragon egg. Hold on a second, I gotta close Skype. Alright, I'm back. Okay, so yeah, so he's definitely cleaning that up. Anyway, I'm going to head to InvertedShadow's base. I should not have put away that obsidian. I meant to bring that to him, actually. How much does he need, technically? He needs, let's see, he needs 1, 2, 3, 4, and then you need 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That sounds about right. 14, yeah. Alright, so, and of course, I don't have an open spot for it. Alright, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to put this here temporarily. That'll stay there, right? I think so. I don't think they have problems with that. Just to get it out of my inventory, and I'm going to go pay him a visit. Had quite, you know what? Jeez, I need to put some stuff away. I just need to get this all cleared up. I had quite the interesting, not very much fun experience while I was, I've got, jeez, that's why. While I was trying to get to his base, I used a Nether portal calculator to find out exactly where he would be, based on the coordinates that I typed onto our Facebook group, which is basically our message board to let other people know, when a video is uploaded or, that kind of crap. So, I had checked what I had typed up there, and I had, of course, typed it up wrong, which I thought when I was, I can't remember if I showed this in my last video, but I moved my Nether portal down here. I don't think I did. I think I recorded something, but I ended up not using it. Which reminds me of something else that happened that I'd like to talk about real quick that really freaked me out. Let's see, is it this one? Oh, it is. Okay. Alright, so I was in here, and I went like this. And I took the melon, and then I took the pumpkin that was here, and the pumpkin landed right here when it dropped. So I walked in here, or actually no, it landed right here. So I was standing here, and I opened this up, and I put the pumpkin away, like that, but it was a pumpkin, not a jack-o'-lantern. And while I was doing that, all of a sudden, like while I was in this heads-up display, or my vision was sort of impaired, I just went, and so I'm like, what the heck? What pushed me? I thought like an animal or a mob would come in here, and the pumpkin, in like under 10 seconds, had grown back. So I hit it, broke it. This time I was standing here. I picked it up and I put it away, and before I could just simply do that and go like that, to get out, it had grown back again and pushed me onto this pressure plate. And that is just so crazy. I jumped off the game immediately and started recording because I was hoping it would just keep doing that so I could really show that off because of how weird that was. But no such luck, which is why I didn't keep the recording where I had shown off my new location for the Nether portal. Anyway, so let's jump right to business. By the way, I also got to RStong's base because he was on the way to Inverted Shadows. All right, so oh yeah, I don't think I showed this either. Here is my rail system. It's pretty much fully functional right now. It doesn't have the protective parts on it that will keep the zombie pigmen off of it and all that, but it works more or less right now. Speaking of which, I guess at Minecon they announced something new they were planning with rails, where they're going to make like a new type of rail that will keep mobs off of it or push them off, or I don't know. But I want to talk about something that really kind of ticks me off. So I used the Nether portal calculator, and I knew that I would need to be on X 500. Y really didn't matter, and Z negative 375. So I went right here, and I'm like, oh, that's awesome. I love that I can come out of my base, or my portal, which, by the way, needs to be moved over one. So let's take care of that. This is going to be weird when T. Calhoun heads over here to go to my base and prank me back or something. And he can't because my portal is being worked on. Oh, man. So interestingly enough, and I'm not going to name names out of respect for the person I saw, but when I was at Fry's yesterday picking up my my network, yesterday was Sunday, but it was so obviously it wasn't Black Friday, but it was still sort of the whole Black Friday Thanksgiving weekend, so I guess there were some deals still to be had or something, because there was, Fry's is usually pretty busy, but I'm just saying, like, there were people there, and I ran into, I'm 90% sure that I ran into somebody that I met almost a year ago to the day, maybe even a little over a year ago. When I say almost, I mean that as an approximation, as in I don't know the exact date, but I worked on poster bids for Wrath of the Titans back in the day, and I worked very briefly with somebody who I respect as probably the highest level, most intelligent visual effects industry people I could ever meet in my life. That was weird. And I saw him at Fry's, or at least I was 90% sure I saw him when I was picking up the network. But I had been up for over 24 hours at the time, and I was really stressed out. So I didn't want to bother him because he was talking with one of the representatives and stuff. But when I got home, he had started following me on Twitter. Which actually really kind of freaks me out, because the idea that not only did he recognize me, but he remembers my name, or had cared enough to satisfy the curiosity of whether or not he did actually see me at Fry's, to contact sort of the in-between guy, that the guy who hired me to work on these poster bids, who also hired him, that they were long-term friends and whatnot. I don't know, it's just really strange. Possibly very good for me, because this guy's a really big name in the industry. I mean, he works on pretty much every blockbuster that's made every year, because he wants to earn an Oscar, which I'm sure he understands is probably never going to happen, due to the types of movies that his skill set is best suited for. Those types of movies don't win Oscars, unfortunately. I'm sort of in the same boat. There's probably no chance I'll ever work on a movie where my work would actually be what wins the Oscar. Anyway, so real quick, I had originally gone this direction because this is what the math had said, and I went to X500, and I jumped out of a portal, and if I remember correctly, I was in one of those portals that generates in the air when you're over the ocean, and it can't really generate you anywhere safe. So I'm like, oh my gosh, where's his base? And I was looking around, and I just kind of like, scouring for it. I'm like, I don't even see land. So I popped out of there, and I realized, okay, let's check this out again. Oh shoot, I need to be in the negative X500. So I went all the way over here, and I was really ticked, because it was great when it was over here, because I didn't have to come up with anything special to fix it with my whole minecart system. I could just literally start another track over here, in the same pattern, except going this way, even though I know for a fact that his base is diagonal. So eventually I'd well, actually no, well, see, the idea was that I thought he was over here, so it's diagonal to the Nether hub. So technically it wouldn't have been diagonal to me if it was over here. But it turns out my problem this whole time was that it was the Z-axis that I was getting wrong, and I had to go all the way past the Nether hub, which is actually why I thought it was weird, because I knew that when we had set up his base, we had picked two other people's coordinates and lined them up together, and 375 is not my base. My base is, closer to 400. So 375 is actually RStong's base, which means that, let's put it this way. Let's not use that here, let's use this to demonstrate. So let's say, I'm not going to have enough room, I just know it. So let's say here's the Nether hub, right? And we're facing my base, so, basically the way we are. So here's my base over here, right? Down here is, let's make that Nether hub. So down here is T. Calhoun's base, right? So you've noticed whenever I go to his base, I go through here to T. Calhoun's base. Alamantis' base is over here, right? And then RStong's base is right here. Now, we had picked coordinates between two people to get the diagonal for InvertedShadow. So I was expecting him to be right here, between RStong and my Nether place, So I was figuring, put a Nether portal here, and you pop out right near his base. Well, first I tried over here, and I ended up in the water. Didn't work. So then I tried over here, and similar story. I was in a place that I could tell was not his base, and it turns out his base is right here. Which, thank goodness it's not right here, because that is such a freaking far distance to have to go. I think this is where NAC 303's base is. Is it 303? I think it's 303. It might be 33. I'm not sure. I gotta tell you, one of the hardest things about making videos, even though the majority of the people on server probably wouldn't care, is using people's usernames instead of their real names, especially people like RStong and T Calhoun, whose real names are, you know, their username is literally their first initial and then their last name. I mean, that's just such a pain when you want to talk about people, or just, you know, briefly mention them. Anyway, so let's see, what was I doing? I need to go this way. So let's go back to that story real quick. So this guy, basically, his mother was an artist, and his father was, I think, a physicist. And you know, growing up, he wanted to live up to both of their standards or whatever. You know, he wanted to really make both of them proud. So he became a what's the word? He has a master's degree in like photon emissions, you know. So the extremely advanced numbers in 3D programs, you know, for lighting and bounce light and different types of emission and water effects and all that. I mean, he's got a master's in the types of real world physics numbers that you need in order to make. Oh wow! Sorry, I've just been taken back by this Nether fortress. I didn't even see, because you know, when you place these blocks, you're going backwards. Anyway, he's got a master's in that kind of stuff, and he's um, he he gets hired on. You know, keep in mind, I just described to you the intelligence level of this guy. I mean, I look up to this guy quite a bit. You know, he's a very, very smart person. Um, he'll get hired onto a job and work for 3 days just setting something up that he knows is going to come out exactly the way it's supposed to, because he's the one who set it up. Leave it to render, leave. So he's only worked for 3 days and get paid something like, what the heck? Where did my bridge go? Oh my gosh, that is really weird. Anyway, so he'll get paid like 100 grand just to work for 3 days, you know, because he's so intelligent. Like, for instance, on and I don't think anything I've said or will say is going to get anybody in trouble. This is, you know, because I'm not talking about movies and things that haven't been released yet, but Final Destination, I think the most recent one at the time of this recording. Let's hope they don't continue them. But in the trailer for it, you see the bridge collapse. And the bridge falls into, you know, obviously the water underneath it. And they hired this guy who, like I said, I'm not going to give out his name out of respect for him, but they hired him to come in and figure out why the water simulations they had set up didn't look right. You know, he walks onto the set, looks at the computer, and what the heck? Okay, I must have gotten lazy and jumped down and gone across. That's really strange. You know, oh man, I couldn't even tell you. I know I had ender pearls before because I've been mining out end stone and stuff from the end, as I stated in a previous episode, where I'm going to be swapping out the end and just kind of want to get a stockpile of end stone. But gosh, I don't remember. I don't remember not building these bridges. I wonder if because I'm rendering on the computer. Not only am I rendering on the computer that has the server hosted on it, but I'm also I'm also like, because of the issue I had with the licensing, I had to create a new user account. Gosh, I don't even remember if I mentioned the licensing issue. I had a problem, and I created a new user account and installed Maya on it, and I got it running again, which actually works better for me because for the new user account I named it the same thing as what my user account is on this laptop, so that hopefully, even if the server network that I set up doesn't work because it doesn't want to let me use it for some reason, I could potentially, now that Dropbox has spent the last 10 hours syncing, I could potentially use it. So right now it's rendering while it's on the new user, while the old user is still technically on as well, hosting this server. So maybe there's been some issues where some of the stuff I've placed, like maybe my position coordinates are getting changed as it's been glitching out, because there were a couple times on my way here where my the server would like give me the server socket exception thing and I would get booted, but man, that's really strange that some of the stuff I placed has just been kind of uprooted. Um, anyway, so down here, I built a portal here because I didn't think RStong had gotten to the Nether yet, and you could totally tell that I use a Nether calculator to find out exactly where he was, because I put my portal here, and his is almost in exactly the same spot except lower. It's within less than 8 block difference on every axis except for Y, which of course doesn't really matter. Because I came out through that portal and ended up on, I ended up in a place that he had definitely set up for his portal. So I built this cobblestone walkway so he could, when he comes in, because there's nothing else here, but when he comes in, he'll see it, know immediately, and then, I left him. Oh my gosh, I forgot to leave with wood. I was going to put a chest here and put one of the 2 flint and steels I've got with me in it so he could relight this if he wanted. But, his is there, so it's not that hard for him. And maybe on the way back I can leave it. And, I let him know also, right now, as you can see in the coordinates, I'm at Y91, and the hub for him is at 99, so he'll have to go up a little bit to reach the pathway I already started from there. So we're going to keep going to InvertedShadow's base. Anyway, where was I? Yeah, this guy was brought on to work on that one sequence in Final Destination, and immediately, he sat down and immediately told them right away that the problem with their fluid simulation is that they hadn't, because fluid simulation takes a very long time to calculate, even when you've got some super badass computers going. Um, and you've got to invest, you know, often several days, maybe even weeks of calculating just simply in your tests. So you don't want to. You don't want to overdo it and spend months waiting for a calculation that you might have to redo. But what they had done, the reason it didn't work is because the the volume of water was too small. So what was actually happening is it was more like dropping into a kiddie pool, because the level wasn't. The water needed to be able to move down and then in its wave motion shoot back up, which would cause the splashes. So, needless to say, as I've gone on for quite a bit talking about this, I really respect this guy. He's a real genius. Anyway, so we're at InvertedShadow's base. I think he's been on the server maybe 4 times. He's an incredibly busy guy. Even on our old server, he didn't get to play all that much because he worked at the time, and possibly even still, I believe, he worked for Disney. And even in the film business, like I am, Disney is one of the worst worst employers you could ever have. Client especially. Oh man, I'm bitching about this client I've got right now for Australia. But in fact, this client I've got for Australia is one of the best clients I've ever had. honestly. Anyway, so there's his current base. I understand now why he needs torches, because he had mentioned specifically that spiders were getting into his base. And obviously it's because, oh, that's hilarious. T. Calhoun was slain by a spider, right, as I mentioned, Inverted Shadow's problems. Anyway, obviously the reason he's having this issue is because they're climbing over his wall. So, I didn't put this here. I did not put this here. Okay, hold on. Let's think about this for a minute. I just got done talking about how little amount of time I believe has been spent by Inverted Shadow on the server. Oh, crap. I knew it! I knew you were going to be a freaking... And he's holding, what, a sword? It looks like a sword. Yeah, definitely a sword. Is it true that when... I mean, I know it's true that if they pick up an item that you drop, they won't despawn. Or at least, I don't know about the villager ones, but the other ones, the ones I just killed, won't. I wonder if I could lure him into the portal, if I could keep him for later. I don't remember if this ever got into a video, but I actually want to create a village in the Nether, above the Nether hub, up on the bedrock, which, another thing I should mention, when we reset the chunks for the Nether in order to let the ore and stuff in. Come on, guy. Can you not climb vines? It shouldn't be that hard. You should just be walking towards me. There are vines there, right? Okay, hold on. Ugh. Oh. He's gonna kill me. He's gonna kill me because he's got a sword and I have, Damn it. That was, quite horrible. Can I sleep? I don't think T. Calhoun's in a place where he'd let me sleep. Yeah, probably not. Wow, well that stinks. So let's gather our go kit, or whatever you call them. I think they're called go bags, for like when you need to leave the country or whatever. Or the kill kit. Gosh, why does these names not sound right when I say them? The one from Dexter that is... Anyway, I'm going to take this. I'm going to take that. I'm going to... Oh! I grabbed all the arrows I could find and took them with me. Because I wanted to give them to him. Oh no! Lame. The worst thing about this is that a lot of those items, I'm sure, is already in the Nether. Well, I guess it's probably far enough away that it wouldn't matter, chunk-wise. Alright, let's see. Are there skeletons around here? Because, yeah, there's one over there. Man, a lot more spawning happening than usual, it seems. I don't know what's up with that. I've noticed lately I swear, especially in the Nether, I barely got attacked by a single ghast when I was making these paths and digging my way towards Inverted Shadow's base. I didn't see, like, maybe 3 ghasts total, and there's a lot of areas, like especially that one area that I'm really exposed for a long time at. Gosh, anyway. Oh boy. So yeah, right now I'm recording this episode, one, so that I can provide Inverted Shadow with the coal, a little bit of flint, because he had mentioned flint in his post on the Facebook group. and we all are thinking that he had intended to say coal. So I'm bringing him my excess flint, all of my arrows in case he needed flint to protect himself in that regard, and a bunch of coal that I've got from fighting the wither skeletons, so that he's got, you know, basically just a supply that he can use if he wants it. And then I'm also going to be bringing him 14 I'm going to be bringing him 14 obsidian, hopefully, if it hasn't despawned by now, as well as yeah, as you can see, this is the remnants of the portal that I had once made to get to where I thought his base was going to be. Just so you guys know, the way that you get rid of the portal is either to flood it with water, or what I did was I mined out one of the obsidian and then put it back, which honestly I should have just taken it with me. It was kind of a waste, but I had a lot with me at the time, because I've been, you know, like I said, I had been spending some time in the end collecting endstone and stuff, and every time I leave I try to get the obsidian platform, because obsidian is actually not something I use all that much. I really don't need it, but you know, I watch people like BOO who at times will just need a ton of it, and I don't know, I just find it, it's one of those things where I'll probably want it sometime, especially when I make beacons and ender chests, you know. It's useful to have. So I did not bring food. I am so underprepared. Anyway, you know, it's possible that RStong had gone through and gone to InvertedShadow's base, because I left him that sign, you know, that said this way towards InvertedShadow. Perhaps InvertedShadow, or I'm sorry, perhaps RStong had gone to his base because he needed, what are we doing? You know me. I'm walking right now. Doesn't it feel like I'm going fast? I can't run because of my food bar. Anyway, it's possible that RStong had headed to his base to hand him some coal as well. So we'll look out for a sign or something. Because the thing that the thing I find a bit strange is the vines, and I know it's a swamp biome, so it's not that unusual to see vines on the trees and stuff, but the way that they're placed, like, because as you know, vines grow like wildfire. You know, they overtake whatever you put them on, and it looked to me like more or less there was 3 vines placed, like just 1, 2, 3, you know, in the areas you need to get up there. So, and I'm not saying InvertedShadow couldn't have put them there, but like I said, he doesn't play a lot. You know, he enjoys the game and he enjoys seeing what we've done, but he, you know, because of his time constraints, he doesn't get to play a lot. So I imagine he wouldn't know that you can use shears to clip vines off of trees and replace them, you know. So I don't know. There was probably somebody else who saw it, and I imagine the reason I imagine it's RStong. You gotta be kidding me. That's all that came through. I imagine that it was RStong because, and I gotta be careful because if that guy didn't despawn, oh no, he would have, because of the sun, which is why I was actually trying to get him into the portal. I need to turn that off. That's just so distracting when you're in the overworld. Anyway, I want to make sure I get all my stuff because I had like a full inventory before, and that I don't want to lose. That's my best pick. That's a pick that's so good that it's almost impossible to repair it with an anvil, because it's literally. Are you serious? Oh my gosh, the trajectory on this stuff. It's so good that in order to repair it, you have to bring another item into the anvil with it that is almost as good as it, you know, so it's almost a waste to even have it because you have to go through several pickaxes just to get to something that you can use to repair it. You know, it's actually one of the main reasons it's named. You know, I named it Perfection because it's looting 3, unbreaking 3, and fortune 3, not looting 3. Fortune 3, unbreaking 3, and efficiency 5. Well, you know what? Well, granted, it could have grown. I don't know. I have no idea, but it does. It seems strange to me that it's so easily right there. It's probably normal. Possibly even the placing of these dirt blocks was because of the vine, you know, here. Who knows? Anyway, so we're here. We died very foolishly. I feel like I should have another spot here because I brought a diamond sword with me. Let's make sure I've got all the essentials. Usually that's just how I play. Like you make sure you didn't lose the stuff that you know you want, and then you just move on and don't care because the other stuff is probably renewable. Yeah, if I lost anything, it's probably my second bow. I am so glad I didn't just give up. If RStong did visit here, it's possible that he did something to the pathways that I didn't see. Perhaps I used a material that, like I think I used sandstone for some of them. So maybe he took out the sandstone and was going to replace it with cobblestone because sandstone can be destroyed by gas. I don't know. It's really strange. Looks like this was once a creeper blast that healed over. I'm gonna eat because, you know, now that I got my potatoes back. That would have really ticked me off, actually, if that was the one thing that I was missing. Alright, so let's see. Here's his base. We're going to torch it up a little bit for him. Especially on the inside, because the worst part about it, like, because, you know, he had mentioned that spiders were getting to him. He's probably spending most of his time here. If there isn't enough, you know, if he's not going far enough away from his base for mobs to actually spawn within it, I should say. So I'm going to put enough here that the block light's going to be above 7. I think, wow, did I really place that in a perfect spot? That's a block light. It's never going to go below 7. That's interesting. I might even want to put it there because it might look better. Gotta double check though. Yeah, so InvertedShadow, when you're watching this, you can see I pressed F3 to see this data on the side, and you'll see like the panel says X, Y, Z, F, LC. On the one that says LC, it says B, swampland, that means biome, and then BL stands for block light, so that tells you what the light level is being emitted from your light around you. SL stands for skylight, and RL stands for real light. Real light is the important light at the, technically block light's the most important, but real light lets you know that it's your block light plus skylight. So if you were in an area that was covered where the skylight was sort of fading, it would combine the block light from, you know, torches and stuff, plus that little bit of skylight to let you know in the daytime what your real light is. Because at nighttime, the skylight is also 15, I think. Or maybe it's 10, or I don't know, but the real light will go down to simply what your block light is, I believe. I'm not 100% sure. Basically, you just want to make sure that you don't have any spots that are below light level 7, and that's how you can protect yourself. Yeah, so we're going to want to put torches around. Probably, let's just try to do it this way, see what we can get. Normally, when I place torches, especially redstone torches, I'll never place them on sand because, you know, you'll be doing something or other and knock it out at one point. So anyway, there's that. Let's, alright, wow. Literally, at first glance, it appears that his entire inventory, like his whole storage, is in his inventory right now. Like, he's literally been playing. In fact, this, I'm going to assume, is a storeroom. I don't know. I couldn't say for sure, but you know, just the placement of it at his base and everything, it seems like that's the case. So we are going to cut down some trees. I'm going to try to find some that he probably won't miss. I'm going to take down this guy. And then I'm going to replant it because I just got another. There we go. Where'd it go? Are you still up there? You're still up there, aren't you? There you go. Alright, let's put you there. Oh, more. Oh, yeah. Let's see. Turn you into wood. What can I throw? I'm going to toss that temporarily. I found that in a dungeon, so we'll come back and get that apple too. Where'd his base go? Alright, so let's get him all situated for now. I'm going to make sure no creepers follow me and blow up his base. That'd be the worst. Oop. I need that. Wow, we don't even have enough for 2 double chests, so I guess we'll just do one. You know, I guess it's okay, because we're sort of assuming that his plan for the underside of his base here is his storeroom, and if it's not, then we won't have made him have to switch out as much. So let's put the coal in first. Then the flint, and then the arrows. And then boom and boom. Alright, then we'll go back and get that bread and that apple, and we'll drop that in there as well. I mentioned to him already on the Facebook group that we've got that like my exact words were coal and flint on its way to your base, and then my following comment was, "God damn, your base is far away," because I thought it was pretty close when I looked at the numbers the first time, because I thought I just had to, you know, go one direction, and my nether base coordinates were gonna, you know, go straight to his. But as you saw, I had to go pretty much all the way across the land just to get to it. So, all right, there's a pretty good starter situation for him. No, I was gonna give him this. I'm gonna give this to T. Calhoun actually, because he has the tree farm. He's the one who got me the jungle wood, and I feel bad for pranking him. And this is sort of preemptive situation. In fact, the reason it was even in my inventory to begin with. And if you remember earlier in the episode, I put away a stone button, or actually, I don't know, I might have started recording after that, but I'm pretty sure I had a stone button in my inventory at the time. I was going to head back to both Alamantis and T. Calhoun's base, and for Alamantis, obviously, I was going to put the stone button back on the door for him. But I got preoccupied with, you know, work stuff that had come up, and he had popped on the server afterwards, and I imagine he has already taken care of it. So I know that he had recorded my response video, or oh wow, you know what? I was about to switch to Quake Pro, but man, I don't want to run on Quake Pro on something this small. Because it feels like you move so fast. It feels like if you were to just accidentally, you know, twitch and move your mouse over, you might just walk right off. And I don't want to hold shift because I want to get through this quickly, and if I'm, you know, careful, I won't walk off. So, alright, so I'm gonna pop down to RStong's base real quick. because I'm going to see if I can snag some wood and put, because on the chance that he hasn't actually come through here yet and seen this, I want to leave him a, oh, come on. No minecart, can't get through. Just take some of this wood. If there's a chest here, alright, well, I'm going to put, I'm just going to throw it on the ground, and this chunk should unload fairly quickly as I run away from it. And then possibly when he hops in, he'll just see it, and if not, it's not like it... How rude. It's not like it'll go to waste. I mean, come on. Let's face it, flint and steel, honestly, that tool was invented for griefing. I mean, you hardly use it at all. In my opinion, I personally believe that there should be another way to light nether portals besides fire charges and flint and steel. Because if there was another tool that was, you know, able to do it for, like, you know, one use, or I don't know, just something else, you'd be able to, you know, for servers, you could, I mean, we wouldn't do it for this server because we don't have griefers on this server, but if you were on a server, oh, I just realized I didn't leave these 2 stacks of arrows with InvertedShadow. I'm sure he still has more than he'll ever use up with the amount of time he gets to play, but the whole point of bringing them was to get them out of my inventory, or out of my chests, because they're all from those skeletons that I fight while hunting wither skeleton skulls. So anyway, what was I saying? Yeah, the flint and steel is kind of, you know, you craft one, and then you use it to get to the nether, and it basically just sits in your chest forever. I mean, I don't know anybody who actually uses it to do anything except for maybe occasionally build a fireplace using, you know, nether brick, and then light it, or nether rack, I should say, and then light it. So I don't know. It seems kind of like a waste tool, in my opinion. Anyway, oh, you know what? Well, I don't know. I was gonna say what might have happened with some of these places is I remember falling down one of them. Like, I actually, I should have mentioned earlier, I tried to build this as quickly as possible. I died once, and it took me a while to get my stuff back, but after that I was just zipping by when I was trying to get to InvertedShadow's base. Because I've only got about 10 frames left when I started that need to be finished rendering, so I figured, you know, I did the math on how long the renders were taking, and I figured I would probably be able to get exactly one episode out right before it finished rendering, assuming that playing Minecraft and recording a video didn't slow down the render speed, which it probably did slightly. Oh no! Don't hit that glowstone! Don't hit that glowstone! Thank goodness. The one thing that, like, I hate gas for every reason that everybody else does, but the one reason I hate them for the most is I don't want to mine glowstone from here. I want to leave it. I think it looks cool. I think it looks really nice having glowstone decorating the nether, you know? And it's a shame when it disappears, you know? So what I do is I just use the priest villager I have to trade for it. So I don't know. It's a real pain, especially when a gas shoots at you and you know, it hits glowstone and breaks that instead. Anyway, wow, I guess really kind of a dull episode today. Not a lot got done other than delivering the gift. I'm actually, you know, I'm gonna cut here. I was gonna go to T. Calhoun's base, but I think I'm just gonna go to the Nether hub. I'm gonna do it off camera though. I mean, all I'm gonna do is take the axe and place it in a chest, which I'll probably end up getting there. and finding out that there isn't a chest for it. But then again, his base is so close. Yeah, I'll do that off camera though. Anyway, I'll see you guys later. Take it easy.